All right, what is going on, Laker fans? Thank you very much for tuning in. I lied to everyone. I said, enjoy your Sunday. I'll see you guys on Monday. Let me be honest with everybody. You know, NFL games going on today. Philly, Washington going on as we're sitting here. Okay, I can multitask. Maybe I got a little more content that I want to throw out before tomorrow. So thank you for being a part of the show. Two things we're going to do in today's video. Number one, I want to go back to just how important Jared Vanderbilt, just how great it was to see him back in that Lakers lineup and what that means for the Lakers moving forward and what kind of options that potentially gives them if they're going to go out there and make some type of a move, knowing that Vando's there, knowing that Vando's healthy, and hopefully Vando obviously is going to be a main contributor. So we're going to kind of tie those things together. His impact on the floor, his impact of what that means, what the Lakers can do trade-wise, what players you can kind of look at and say, all right, we got enough there, and we could use that player in some type of a deal. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Please do me a quick favor. Subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. Would greatly appreciate that. Cheers to everyone on this Sunday. I got some tea here. Tomorrow morning, I'll coffee. I'll coffee tomorrow. All right, let's get started. I think, it's easy for maybe people from the outside to look in and say, all right, everybody's going to now overreact about Jared Vanderbilt. I know it's the Golden State Warriors. I'm not talking about just the win that the Lakers had. But I don't think overreacting about Jared Vanderbilt last night or moving forward is a big deal. I don't think I'm being too dramatic about it. I think that the fact that he's available for the Lakers, he played 12 minutes yesterday. And in those 12 minutes, he had 3 steals. By the way, he had 4 rebounds as well. And I want to say he had 3 assists on top of that. There's certain players in the league. There's certain types of players in the league that you have to have. I was talking about this a little bit on the postgame show yesterday. And, I did almost an hour of the postgame show, so it might get lost in some of the other content that was in there. But certain playoff teams have certain guys that fit a specific role. I need a defensive stopper. I need somebody out there who's going to be incredibly unselfish, doesn't want to shoot the ball, is completely okay going out there, playing defense, grabbing rebounds, and being an effective player in a different way. All these guys have their different strengths. What Austin Reeves' strength is, it's not supposed to be the same as Jared Vanderbilt. What Dorian Finney-Smith might be different than, of course, Max Christie or LeBron and Anthony Davis. All these guys are supposed to complement each other. You don't want to have too much of the same thing. So I thought Vando, there were a couple things yesterday, a couple quotes that I'll read off, just kind of some reaction from some of the different either coaching staff, his own reaction as well. JJ Redick said, did all the things that we need him to do. I'm going to kind of simplify this here. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals. That was his line in only 12 minutes of play. Did all the things that we need him to do. I've talked a lot about these Laker role players, and I spent a lot of time telling you that I'm not sure what these guys are going to give the Lakers every single night. I don't know if Ruby's going to give the Lakers 6 points and 2 rebounds, or if he's going to give them 16 points and 6 rebounds. Not sure what Max Christie's going to be, what Gabe Vincent's going to be, what Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, even Dorian Finney-Smith came to the Lakers. I had really high hopes and expectations. He's been okay so far, nothing out of the ordinary. I thought he impacted the game yesterday against the Warriors, just wouldn't show really on a box score. I think he had the highest plus-minus of any player from both teams yesterday. Dalton Knecht. I don't know what these guys are going to give every single night. Jared Vanderbilt, at least from his perspective, I think you got a pretty good idea what type of player he's going to be and how he can be impactful for the Lakers on a night-in, night-out basis. So one of J.J. Redick's quotes, did all the things that we need him to do. All right, let me get a quote here from Vando. Vando, as far as kind of how he was feeling, he said, I knew I might be a little rusty coming in as far as rhythm and knowing the plays and all that stuff. So my main goal was to just go in there and play hard, bring the energy, and then everything else, just control the controllable and everything else will play its hand. I was talking about this yesterday during the postgame show. I don't really care what he looks like over the next month. What I care about for Jared Vanderbilt is, what do you look like after the All-Star break? Are you good now? You got your legs under you? Your cardio is good. His breathing is good. His body feels normal. He got, whatever aches and pains. He kind of got that all straightened out over the next 4 weeks, because what the Lakers need him for is that stretch run. So for Vando kind of walking out yesterday, if Vanderbilt played 12 minutes yesterday and had no stats, he had no steals, he had no rebounds, he had no assists, I honestly wouldn't have really cared. But what I cared about most in last night's game, just the fact that he's back out on the floor. Couple of quotes from the main guys here. This one's from LeBron. Besides his wind, it looked like he didn't miss a beat. He's flying around. What he doesn't always, or what he does, doesn't always show up in the box score. But coming back in his first game, I know it's been quite a while to have 3 steals, couple assists, carved the ball in the pocket and found a guy in the opposite corner for a 3. Offensive rebound, tipping. We missed him. Happy to have him back. That's coming from LeBron. LeBron's not trying to blow any smoke up anybody's. He knows the value that Vando is for the Lakers. Get one more quote in here. Anthony Davis, AD obviously reacting to his first game in the year. We can go deep into our bench. Obviously, Vando's on a minutes restriction, but the time he was on the floor, he was phenomenal. He looked great. It definitely helps us with guys not having to play a ton of minutes. We can get some rest and kind of be fresh from game to game. All these guys' quotes, all of them have a similar theme. And I'm talking about JJ Redick, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Their theme is he can help the team. His style of play helps the team. What he brings to the table is beneficial to the team. And I think that's the thing that I pay most attention to with a guy like Jared Vanderbilt, and why I think, you should be excited that this man is back. The only reason why people were frustrated with Vando over the course of the last year is just because they were waiting for him to come back. They were excited for him to come back. And unfortunately, he had his own setbacks. And, here we are almost 1 year later, and he finally made his return. Nobody was complaining about his game or his style or what he brings to the table. And I think if you listen to Anthony Davis, LeBron, and JJ Redick, all of them had the same exact theme. This guy's going to help the squad. He's going to help the team. And, that portion I'm excited about. I think it kind of leads me into another conversation. The Lakers got a few guys that right now, I love that the team has won 5 of their last 6 games, because what I think they're starting to do here is they're starting to make an argument to Rob Pelinka and the rest of the front office there. We're not that far off. Now, that doesn't mean by just making a trade, Lakers are guaranteed to get to the Western Conference Finals or get to the NBA Finals. But I think this team has at least made a case. Go improve the roster like you did with Dorian Finney-Smith, or at least we think they did. I'll take my chances with DFS in a playoff run. Go accommodate what the players feel like they need, guys like Anthony Davis, what he needs. Give us a shot. Give us the best shot possible by making some type of a competitive run mid-April all the way to potentially mid-June. And I think that's what this team, by winning 5 of their last 6, that's the argument that they're starting to make. And if you start looking at the roster, and if you start looking at, okay, Vando just came back, you traded for Dorian Finney-Smith. Is it Rui that's the odd man out? Probably. Is it? No. You can use some of these smaller pieces. Use Jackson Hayes, Christian Wood, Jalen Hood-Schifino, and use a pick, and you can go get this player or that player. No. Use Gabe Vincent. Even though Gabe Vincent has been playing better, it's good to see him obviously start contributing again. That's his job. He's making $11 million a year, so I don't want to give him too much credit. But I think it starts opening up the options for the Lakers. What are the names that we've been hearing? Walker Kessler, Jonas Valanciunas, Miles Turner a little bit we talked about yesterday. Jakob Poeltl is another name that came up in the last couple of days. We've been hearing names. We've been hearing some different types of players that the Lakers could potentially target. Eventually, if you're going to go make a deal and you're going to go improve this roster, you might have to overpay a little bit. If the market says you got to overpay a little bit, then that just might come with the territory. But I think the fact that you got Jared Vanderbilt back, it's going to open your options a little bit. Let's see how Vando looks. The nice thing with Vando is the trade deadline's on February 6th. Not that there's a lot of time, but I think within the next week, you're going to have a good idea of, okay, here's how Vando's looking. What players can you see a little bit less of? What players do you feel like you need a little bit more of? I think it will clear up a little bit for the Lakers, a little bit. Now, I know Rob Pelinka's already got kind of his vision in his mind, probably what he wants to do with this roster. But I think the fact that they're playing better basketball, the fact that Vando came back, I think this is now you're starting to feel like, okay, this is a good position to be in. You're 7 games over 500. You're fifth in the Western Conference. You're 2 games out of the fourth spot of where Denver is sitting. But I think now you can start making that legitimate argument to the front office. Now it's in your hands. Go make that move that this team needs to continue to improve 5, 7, 10%, just to become that contender that you're hoping for, just to be a team that you feel like that could be a dangerous team come the postseason. I don't think they have an option. I mean, I think at this point, holding on to your draft picks it's a little idiotic, because if that was the case, then why did you trade for Dorian Finney-Smith? Well, why didn't you, shop away other players? Well, why didn't you just become sellers if you weren't going to become buyers? I don't think we're going to get to I don't think we're going to get to February 6th without the Lakers making a deal. But I think what's becoming more and more interesting, are there players now that become more expendable because Vando's back? I know I've mentioned Rui a lot. I know, his inconsistent play. I've talked about him as well. There's times where it's like, hey, you know what? No, Vando would be nice to have on this team. But I think for the most part, I think most people agree with me that Vando might be just or that Rui might just be that, that kind of that odd man out is the best way to put it. Maybe you could still go out there and get the Colin Sexton, Walker Kessler, that kind of a scenario out there. Whatever the case is, I do think the Lakers are going to kind of put themselves in some type of a position where we could at least look at this team and we could legitimately say it with a straight face. You can make an argument. Go shop those picks, whatever targeting player that makes most sense for the roster that AD agrees with, LeBron agrees with, and Rob Pelinka feels like, the price is right. Now is the time to go make that move. So thoughts on Jared Vanderbilt? Obviously what he was able to do in his first game back. Feel free to throw him on there. And then what do you guys think? Do you guys agree with me on this? Rui kind of is the odd man out when it comes to potentially what the Lakers will do next. Vando's impact, what that's going to look like. Put them in the comments. Feel free to, and we'll take a look at this tomorrow when I'm doing my live show. Back on tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Enjoy the rest of the NFL games on this Sunday. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you in the morning. Please subscribe to the channel. We'll talk to you then. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.